So as I said, my name is Dean from Quikk API, and today we're going over our API platform and specifically to talk a bit about auto commissions. So I'll dive in and just get started and also talk about should be fine. Okay, great. So welcome to Quikk API. Quikk API is an API platform for Africa, and what you're doing is we're making it easy for developers, tech companies, banks, SACCOs, and anyone really who's managing payments digitally to transact on top of APIs. So what's our story? So in 2010, we built the first Mpesa API. In 2014, we built a payment gateway. We built an e-commerce platform shortly after, a developer shop, and it was always really difficult to integrate APIs, to manage APIs, to find APIs, to speak to partners who are familiar with APIs, and to get started with APIs, right? And the solution that you've brought together at Quikk is one, a developer-first API platform. Two, we make it super easy to integrate fintech APIs. Three, adding more tools on top of APIs, so security tools, Recons tools, plugins, and so on. And then four, your integrations, payments, and support team. So we help you at an integration level, at a payments level, and at a support level. Using Africa, and we believe that using African APIs can be really easy, can be affordable and fast. Now, we've had a couple of interesting companies use us. We have Pezesha, we have Buupass, we have Tutado, we have Order, we have Fingo, and so many others. Now, why us? So one, you get paid directly onto your Mpesa paybill or bank account in real time. Two, our clients have processed billions of shillings through our platform. Three, you get direct support from our team in 30 minutes or less. And we do this in a really close, personalized way, where we have email threads together, we have WhatsApp groups together with our clients, and we try to clarify any questions or issues super quickly. Four, we have great pricing. So we charge 0.5 to 0.1%, and we pay zero to API providers. And we help our clients pay zero to API providers. And it's much easier to build a solid business, right? We see a lot of challenges with tech companies trying to raise money, trying to turn a profit, trying to generate revenue. And by reducing your costs at a payment level and at an operational level, by using our platform, you're able to run a high revenue and a high margin tech company. And then finally, all your teams. So all your teams, tech teams, your customer service teams, your finance teams, product teams, and sales teams get more tools to serve clients. There are a couple African infrastructure layers that are interesting and important for you all to consider. The biggest one is how we compare to other solutions. Now, most people are using a payment gateway. So any of the big ones usually for both card and Mpesa. But what you realize really quickly is that they all connect to an API platform. And there are essentially two ways to connect, right? So one is through Daraja, which is run by Mpesa, or Quikk API. And a lot of our clients think of us as a better alternative to Daraja. And the API providers we offer access to, we have Mpesa, we have Airtel, we have Pesalink, we have banks. And what we try to do is to be an enterprise version of an API platform. And we give 40 plus add-ons to make it easy for you to onboard and integrate APIs. And how this looks like in a really practical sense is that many different departments can use our solution, right? So customer support, product teams, tech teams, payouts teams, and marketing and sales teams, right? They can all use they can all use Quikk API. Any questions so far? I've gone quite fast. I just hope not to leave anyone behind.
Hi, Dean. My name is Bangale. I have a question.
Hi, Bangale.
Do you offer international payments? Like if a client from another country wants to pay, like in Europe, wants to pay in Kenya, is it possible?
So through bank accounts, yes, it is possible. So if your client sends money to a bank account and then you load money onto, let's say, Pesalink or Mpesa, yes, it is possible. But what we primarily focus on are local payments. So being able to manage money at a local level.
Okay. And what's else to ask? Just proceed. I'll ask once I remember it.
No worries at all. Okay. Any other questions? I think I can proceed. If you do have a question, feel free to raise your hand or just mention in the comments, and I'll be sure to take a look and answer every couple of minutes. Judge, how are you?
Great. Is there a limit to the amount of money that can be sent at once?
Define limit, and what amounts are you thinking?
So, like, let's say somebody wants to send, like 5 million shillings at a go in one transaction.
That's a good question. So on our Mpesa APIs, we've had clients send 10 million shillings in one transaction, 20 million, 50 million, and so on. Right? So yes, they are essentially very high limits. And to be honest, we haven't really hit that limit yet.
And what is that limit?
We think the limit will be about 100 million shillings per transaction.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Okay, awesome. Any other questions?
Hi, Dave. So I also wanted to ask you the remittance frequency and amount. How often can someone withdraw from Quikk API to the account in a week basis, and what amount is limited to that?
Okay. Yeah, that's always an interesting question. So Quikk API specifically isn't a wallet, right? We are an infrastructure platform, meaning that we give you tools and solutions on top of Mpesa, right? Or on top of Pesalink, on top of Equity, and so on. So specifically, what we'd do in the case of Mpesa is that we'd get you your own Mpesa paybill, right? As we've just gone over in this section, right? So once you have your own paybill, you'd be transacting directly within that paybill. Now, a big thing that most tech companies struggle with is understanding the Mpesa ecosystem. So one of the big things we do, especially now that your payments, integrations, and supporting, is helping you understand how the tech works, for example, Mpesa, and of course our solution, and also how you can transact. So with Mpesa, for example, you can transact multiple times a day. Usually they prefer that you transact, let's say from Mpesa to bank with a certain volume of transaction. Maybe you at least have 5,000 shillings in your account, in your Mpesa pay bill, for example, and so on. So, and you can transact as many times as you'd like. So that's not a significant issue. After this session, I'll share a link to set up a demo. And I'm sure you've all received a couple of emails that have links to the demo where you can set up a meeting with the rest of our team and we can answer some of your really specific questions with regard to your business, right? And also around how you can potentially get started with us. Okay? Make sense, Bangali?
Yeah, I get it. So my other question is, you said you're only dealing with the M-Pesa infrastructure and the economy around it. So if someone has a Equity or a KCB Bank paybill, do you also offer integration services?
So at a top level, at an API level, we concentrate on Mpesa, Pesalink, and Airtel. We are onboarding banks directly. if you have, sorry, just a second, let me just put a link to our demo in the chat. So if you have a separate solution, let's say a bank pay bill, we'd have to partner with you to engage a couple of banks. So it's nothing too difficult for us. So the main essentially question would be, how do we get that done with your bank?
Okay, cool. I understand.
Okay. Yes.
If you don't mind, I just have another question.
No, please ask.
So sasa saizi let's say mtu ashapata the Mpesa buy goods till number. Then they have an external platform. So do you guys have tech guys or programmers who can do the integration for them and for the organization?
Just to understand, so you have your own pay bill?
Yes.
You also have your own website already?
Yes.
That you've built yourself?
I work for an organization called SACCO. SACCO.com.
Okay.
So we also have a website and an app, and we help people who want to buy on wholesale from China to import them for them. Mpesa people to pay with Mpesa here locally.
Okay.
That way we can be able to proceed fulfilling with the order. So I was asking if you guys have tech guys or programmers who can help us with connecting your API, the Quikk API, to the platform called SocoBit.
Okay. So at that layer, what we start with, or what we try to understand.
Yes.
Sorry, Bangali, are you able to, I don't know, mute a little, and then you can unmute?
Okay.
Point is, of course, trying to understand your tech stack. So which solution are you using? And then it becomes a bit easier for us to recommend a way forward. Most of our clients do come to us when they already have a bit of a tech team. The ones who do not, we can refer certain developers who are familiar with our platform. So third-party developers who've worked for one of our clients, and they're able to help you out. Or we can recommend solutions that make it easier to get started with us, right? So you've seen clients come to us with no-code solutions. You've seen clients come to us with, let's say, their solution being on WordPress, does that it makes it so much easier to get started. Yeah. I hope that helps, Bangali.
Yeah, I've got your perspective. I'll reach out for more questions later.
Okay, awesome.
Mic check. Can you hear me?
Yes, Patrick, we can hear you.
Okay. I have a question. So from the documentation, or rather from the when you hear Quikk API, you hear Africa. So I was wondering, apart from Kenya, where Mpesa is a big thing, which other country do you have a use case? I think I forgot the screenshot, the slide that had some of the trusted customers or trusted brands that have used Quikk API. So I'm wondering, which other country are you in operation in Africa?
So right now we are expanding across East Africa. And because we are API focused, we expand as a result of API providers, right? And the two API providers that would allow us to expand across East Africa are Airtel and MTN. So that would allow us to do Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and our clients already in those markets are really excited to support that expansion.
Oh, cool. I think I understand now.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Any final questions before I continue? Okay. Okay, great. So, how can your departments use Quikk? We've gone over this a bit, but the biggest key to keep in mind is we have tools for multiple departments, whether it's customer support, product tech, payouts, marketing, and sales. Now, we've processed billions of shillings through our platform, millions of API calls, aka millions of transactions. For Pezesha, Pezesha, Buupass, Motishua, Tutadu, Cladify, Order, and so many others, right? And they are all executing different business models, whether lending infrastructure, agri-tech, retail tech, e-commerce, insurtech, event ticketing, and so on. Who are we? So we are two co-founders with a team of 10. We've been building across financial technology, payments, e-commerce for the last 14 years now, from 2010 to 2024. We have some investors that we've raised at a $6.25 million valuation. We have 2+ years of funding and running, right? And that means we are a really solid business and we are able to continue to serve our clients. The logos at the bottom are some of the companies we've worked at previously. So how do you get started? So one, connect. So you get your own mobile money or bank business account. So your own paybill, your own till number, or your own bank account. And we help our clients run infrastructure on top of that, right? And to make that easy. Number two, integrating. So you need, when you need fast support, KYC, and onboarding, we give that to you. As we've already said, we try to do that in 30 minutes or less. And then manage, we help you maximize value from APIs, helping you build less internal technology. Product features, I'll take you through the actual dashboard. Product benefits. So we are a one-stop shop API platform, and you can bring your own integration. We've simplified the API, we've harmonized and standardized it. We've run compliance, security, and reliability tests on top of the API. We've built 6 powerful Mpesa APIs, and Quikk is battle-hardened and scalable, right? So we use Quikk API to handle 3x the volume that Mpesa currently handles, meaning that we can scale across multiple APIs, multiple countries and regions very quickly. Oh, these are just some of the Mpesa APIs we have. One of the big things we've done is that we've combined multiple Mpesa APIs so that it's easier for you to manage. So instead of managing 20+ APIs, you just need to manage 6 and you get the value of 20. This is a good comparison between us and the Mpesa Daraja API, which tends to be complicated, risk-heavy, and difficult to use. Over 28 lines, over 1,000 characters, just a ton of fields to be managed, right? Versus our API, fewer characters, simpler lines, easier to understand what's going on, good field clarity that allows you to understand what each field means. And because it's standardized and simplified, it means this does not change, right? This is also another comparison between us, payment gateways, and Daraja. The 3 big things for us is pricing. So our pricing is really low, 0.1 to 0.5%, versus gateways 1 to 3%. Daraja is free, but they tend to charge you very high provider fees. Another big one is we use HMAC auth and token. Now, HMAC especially is very secure, and it allows our high volume clients to be super secure as they make API requests with us. And then finally, being able to do add-ons and plugins on top of APIs, right? So being able to have additional functionality, for example, automatic commissions, split payments, automatic reconciliation, and so on. And this allows you to be able to onboard and transition very interesting business models. Any questions so far?
Hi, Dean. The question is, do you charge per transaction, or is it like after a lump sum fee of the received payment?
Yeah, so that's perfect. Yeah, that takes us to the next slide. So we charge per transaction, and we find our clients really appreciate this because it makes it easier for them to manage payments with us.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So as I mentioned, our clients pay zero fees to API providers, and this really reduces their complexity in running operations, and it increases their margins, right? Number two, you can pay between 0.5 to 0.15% per transaction, dependent on volume. And how this works is you pay 0.5 up to the point you hit 1 million shillings. Once you cross that, it transitions to 0.3%. And then once you cross 10 million, it moves to 0.15. And this allows you to grow really comfortably with stable costs. And then finally, we have other enterprise volume discounts. Let's talk. Yeah, any questions at that point before I jump into add-ons?
So for the fees per transaction, that includes all the, whether it is bank or mobile money.
So solution in a way that allows you to do that. And because you already have, let's say, a pay bill or a bank account etc., we're able to recommend how you do that. I hope that helps. So our clients don't pay anything to Mpesa, for example, Airtel and Pesalink. So the fees essentially are the only transaction costs.
Okay. So like regardless of whether I integrated with a bank account, like whether I'm using a bank account, the fees, the percentage fees is the same as someone else who is using Mpesa, right?
So let me understand that. What do you mean by...
So like when I use Quikk API, but my solution, let's say my solution is being backed by a bank account.
Okay.
And so like on Quikk API, I'll be able to integrate my solutions with my bank account to process payments or to receive payments, right?
Yes, but just to clarify, so let's say if you're processing payments on top of Mpesa, money will go into your Mpesa pay bill, and from your Mpesa pay bill, it can be settled into your bank account, right? Okay. So that's scenario one. Scenario two is let's say you're only receiving payments directly to your bank account, so you're not using Mpesa, right? You don't have a pay bill, you're not even using any other pay bill, you're just receiving money in, let's say, just your bank account, and your clients only pay directly to your bank account. Yeah, so basically in both scenarios, you wouldn't be paying transaction fees other than this. Okay. I think I can continue. So, add-ons. So we have a couple of add-ons to make it, one, easy and fast to get to market. Two, making it easier for you to build less technology, aka your devs are less stressed and they can focus on products that serve the market. And then three, use super reliable tech, right? So our tech has been used to move billions of shillings. It's very reliable. And we have a couple of scenarios that you can use to understand how our add-ons work. So this is a scenario of a marketplace. So a customer comes to your app or your website or your USSD solution and they want to pay, right? And throughout this process, you can use about 6 different add-ons that are on our platform, on the Quikk API platform, even 7 if you add WooCommerce, to make the transaction easier, to make the transaction successful, to give you visibility, and to add automations on top of the payment, right? So that you can do split payments and so on, right? And what we've seen our clients do with this is be able to launch products that they had initially canceled because they didn't think it was possible to do at scale, right? So they're able to use our add-ons, build new products, launch new solutions that they didn't think were possible previously, right? Or were too expensive to roll out and too manual to roll out. And a good example of this is split payments, right? So a customer makes a payment, it's successful, and it automatically triggers a payout that can pay your suppliers, your partners, your sales reps, if you have them, and also get a profit for yourself, right? And this is essentially the biggest value add that we offer, especially for people who want to automate their payments, right? Split payments and by extension, auto commissions allows you to have really complicated and complex transactions happen basically in real time with those automations live, right? And without any additional work from your side, right? So you don't have to sit down at the end of the day or at the end of the week doing reconciliation, making payments, making payouts to your clients. This can happen basically automatically.
Sorry for interrupting you. Are you presenting your screen?
Oh, wow. I thought I was. Apologies for that. They have been singing. I've been performing. I've been feeling very good. But I'm happy just to do a quick recap. So I think the last post you guys might have seen is pricing. Yes?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Yeah. So add-ons. So you use add-ons to make it easier to build a product quickly using Quikk. Build less tech. So your devs, your tech team, your operations teams are less stressed, and then use super reliable tech, right? So our tech is already used and tested at scale to move billions of shillings. Now, sample product is, let's say you're a marketplace, right? And as I mentioned, you can use about 7 different add-ons. You can see the purple line where you can use 7 different add-ons to automate the transaction, to simplify the transaction, to give visibility. And to go through each of them step by step, we have the WooCommerce add-on. This connects to WordPress or the WooCommerce store and makes it easy for you to start payments and get clients to pay directly into your paybill on the WooCommerce store and solution, right? So if you have a WooCommerce website, you're selling something online, you can add our plugin, and that allows you to receive payments into your Mpesa paybill, right? Or your Pesalink paybill. Next to that, you have an Mpesa reconciliation add-on. So Mpesa does have scenarios of missing transactions. So what this add-on does is that it scraps the Mpesa database and finds your missing transactions and delivers them to you, right? Connected to that is Google Sheets. So Google Sheets is a visibility add-on, and this allows you to have real-time visibility into your transactions, and not just for yourself, but also for your other teams, right? Whether you have reconciliation teams, whether you have payments teams, whether you have support teams, marketing and sales teams, they can understand how well they're doing in terms of sales. You have your eco solution, and this allows you to send data to other ecosystems within your organization if you don't want to use Google Sheets or a different solution, right? And we've seen clients use this to forward the data to their SMS teams, to their SMS solutions, and so on. Connected to that is the payments dashboard. So this is on the payout side. So this gives you visibility on the payout transactions you're making. We also have the split payments add-on, and this allows you to, again, split a transaction. And then you have the guard add-on. The guard add-on allows you to guard against transactions leaving your organization that were not authorized. And we've broken this down to have a bit better visibility on split payments, right? Where using the split payments add-on, you can split transactions into multiple ecosystems. And now the addition onto split payments is the auto commissions add-on that allows you to split this payment as a commission, right? So there are certain payments, there are certain commissions you want to pay on a daily, on a real-time basis. Maybe you want to take your profit, maybe you charge 10% of every transaction has a commission. Maybe there's a certain partner that you have that takes a commission on every transaction. You're able to automate this and simplify this for them. And we've also done a similar flow for a few clients that we have who are in InsurTech. And they are able to also use the same set of add-ons to automate and simplify their operations. and specifically being able to do real-time payouts. Any questions as I jump onto the dashboard?
Yeah, hi Dean, thanks for that presentation. I'm curious, do you charge for the number of add-ons someone includes in the integration, or is it strictly you strictly charge on the during the transactions?
That's a great question, Brian. So each add-on has its own pricing. We are starting off a 3-month free trial for all our add-ons. And this is primarily to help our clients build interesting use cases before they completely launch operations. Our goal around add-ons is to make it easy for you to get started and scale, right? So our goal around add-ons isn't exactly to maximize on pricing, because we still charge a percentage, right, on all transactions. What we want to do with add-ons is to make it easy for you to launch and start using our solution. Yeah, I hope that helps.
Yes, that does. So could you speak a bit more about split payments, or we could take this convo offline?
Yes. In fact, so the first starting point of split payments is really the add-on I showed you earlier. I'm about to jump onto the dashboard and go a bit deeper into how to set it up and how it works the way it works. And hopefully what this will do is that it will give you a ton of clarity and visibility into how to take advantage of our solution. Okay?
Yes, so I was more curious about the pricing for split payments for that add-on.
Okay. Understood. So let me just come to the app section. So right now we have a test ongoing on pricing for split payments, which is about 59 shillings per 100 API calls, roughly. We are getting some really interesting feedback, and we think we'll update that in the next couple of days. But we have a cohort mindset where if you're on board right now, you basically get the pricing of right now. Of course, after your first 3 months at that, right? So pricing specifically isn't really a big issue in terms of long term. And then every so often, if you see your usage is increasing drastically and you need to negotiate the Kenyan way, just talk to me nice, and I'm sure to Kosana.
Thanks for that.
Okay, awesome. Okay, great. So I want to take you guys through the auto commissions add-on. So I already have it configured on this page. So this is our dashboard. Let me give you a quick overview. So you come to our overview page, and this is where you get general data. You see your apps. So you create a new app. Let's say you call this app just auto commission, and then you give it a description, just say name, right? And then you come here and you select APIs. So let's say you select the C2B, the confirmation, the refund one, and you create your app. So there you go, you already have an app. Right, and once now that is done, configuring an API is really easy. All you do is to add the passkey, the shortcode number, and the callback URL. And once that is added, you've configured your API. So you can see here it's configured. Then I come back here and go to the add-on section. So let me show you an already set up add-on. Yeah. So this is a sample for Buupass commissions. This can be applied to any company. So let's say we come here and we call this SACCO Gate. All right. There we go. And we call this SACCO Gate Auto Commission. Right. So this will be an auto commission by SACCO Gate. In fact, let me just simplify this and call this SACCO Gate. Now, how do we set this up? So all you need to do is enter your API key and API secret. Where you get that is on our on your app. So the specific app that you are integrating, you just come here, get new key. Let's say give this a name, SACCO get key. Request your key. There you go. Here's your API key and your API secret. This is just a test one. I'm not worried if anyone uses it. I will not be transacting on this. And then you come back here and you put your API key here and API secret here, right? And then you give it a shortcode. So this is your paybill number that is already configured onto this shortcode. Sorry, onto this app, right? So if you recall, we went to the configuration page. We came here and we configured one. Now I'm just using dummy data, but ideally you'd use this shortcode number here. Then you'd give it some rules. Now this is where things get really interesting. So you can schedule it to be a real-time automatic commission. Sorry, let me just scroll to the bottom. If it's a batch configuration, you'd have to put a cron expression, right? Or a cron job so that you can schedule it. But if it's real time, there you go. So sender name. So you can say maybe SACCO wants to pay one of its local partners, maybe a sales rep. Or maybe there's a head of sales who gets commissions for all the sold products, right? And the destination name here would be, let's say the head of sales is called Mwas Otieno, right? Who handles all of sales commissions for the rest of the team, right? You can put their paybill or their phone number. Let me change to their phone number. I also have to make sure that this is a payout. And then I put 0712345678, right? So this is the phone number of Mwasotieno. A split type is fixed, or I can switch this and put it as a percentage. And let's say he gets a 5% commission for every transaction, every successful sale, right? Now, if I come back to the top, now you have a full, basically an automatic commission. So any amount that comes into this paybill, 5% will be paid to Mwasotieno. Right? 5% will be paid to Mwasotieno through this number, and this will be sent directly to his Mpesa phone number. Any questions so far? Before I make it even more crazy and more complicated.
Hi, Dean. So I just wanted to ask, is this like just a separate payment link, like if it's one of the affiliates from a separate? Basically, nauliza msee akilipa, is that a specific link in the payout commission will be cut to that person specifically, or is it like combined, like the organization paybill first, then into the part that sales account?
So just that I understand. So you're asking if this is, if there's a payment link that the customer has paid into that has the rules for the automatic commission.
Yes.
Okay, so specifically how this would work, let me just give you a live example. It's this, right? So you have your split payment definitor here, right? A customer goes to, in fact, let me go to this more complicated one. So a customer goes to either your website, your app, your USSD solution, and they pay into your Mpesa paybill, specifically here, your paybill, right? That will trigger the split payment. And specifically, that will trigger the auto commission, right? So the auto commission is flat. It's a commission on the whole paybill. And that's why the best use case is maybe you're a ticketing platform, you get 5% of every transaction, right? Where if I sell tickets on your platform, or I sell goods on your platform, you, the business, makes a certain percentage, right? So that's the specific use case for auto commission.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
And so how that works on your end in terms of configuration, let me just see if I can give you some additional visibility, is giving your customers the ability to, yes, pay into you, but giving your partners the ability to receive payments in real time. So the best use case for auto commissions is being able to receive automatic commissions on the full pay bill. So any transaction that comes into the pay bill, you get an automatic commission. And the best use case is scenarios where it is you, the organization, or someone within your organization who's receiving every part of the commission. It might be, maybe you set aside 10% of all payments, let's say to pay for delivery fees, right? Or of every payment is sent to, let's say, KRA, for example, right? So there are many different use cases where you need an automatic commission on the full transaction. So it's not rule-based in terms of who gets paid. It's on every transaction. What we are rolling out, and we should be done with that in a couple of days now, will be rules-based splits. So maybe a commission is paid, and that commission should be sent to a certain person because that person helped the customer buy the product, right? So that's going to have a lot more rules and a lot more variables. But in terms of flat automatic commissions, this is the product for you, right? Where there's a flat number, a flat commission. Make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, awesome.
Hi, David.
Hi, how are you? Hi, Sam.
Good. It's Zachola, Sam here. This is really dope with the auto commissions. Just wanted to ask, like on your roadmap, are you looking to extend this like to the for the setup to an API level, where someone can now, like with the rules-based, I can say like for this particular payment on the platform, the commission should go to this person versus this person. So in this sense, like I can even say like for my users of the platform, I receive the payment, and if there's any form of like affiliates on the payment, then I know where exactly to send the commissions.
Yes.
Down the road.
Yes, it is. So we've already made some really good progress on that. So there are two layers to it. So the first layer would be being able to set that up on our dashboard, where let's say you've onboarded a merchant, you've onboarded a event organizer, for example, and you have certain rules. So if a transaction comes in that is from that event organizer's ID or page, then a certain commission is, or a certain referral is sent to them, right? Or a certain amount is paid to them, right? Mostly because it allows you to have additional real-time settlement for your merchants, right? A lot of merchants like having money in their pocket so that they can conduct day-to-day business. And then what that will also do is that it allows you to add additional steps where you can do affiliates, you can do referral programs, you can even run some version of paid waitlists and so on, where if a payment comes in and it has certain reference data, then so someone gets paid, right? Whether it's the partner or the supplier or the distributor or all of them, right? And right now in beta, we are working with a few clients who are doing like 5 different splits on every transaction. So a transaction comes in and it is split 5 different ways. Part of it is your profit, part of it is to, let's say, an insurance partner, part of it is a lending partner. And you're seeing this especially get interesting around the transportation ecosystem, right? Where you have borders, you have platforms like Uber, you have people who lend to border drivers, so the Watus and the Mogos and the Coppers. We see people who pay significant transactions at the petrol station and so on. But that allows that to be extended to almost any other ecosystem, right? So it doesn't have to be transportation, it could be an events platform. You have affiliates, you have referrals, you have people who do onboardings. And then, of course, after that will be API level access. So it becomes an API and you can send data and update that in real time, right? The biggest thing is it starts off as a dashboard and then eventually to power API type access. I hope that helps Sam before I go to Brian.
Yeah, that's super helpful. Just one last thing is, as you're looking into that, like that, the individual splits could be for the different types of the payout accounts. So it could be like the phone number, the bank, or the paybill.
Yes. So
All right.
they actually essentially any split, right? So phone number, bank, paybill, till, any split, you can pay to almost any destination.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. Brian?
Yeah, so on the, if you just go back to the dashboard where the split payments configuration was.
I think it was here.
Yeah, there's that field called sender name.
Okay.
Does the recipient see this sender name anywhere? And if so, at what point? And does this tie back to your KYB? For example, does it have to match my company's name?
In fact, that's a really good question. So I should rename this and call this. So the sender name is an internal configuration identifier. This should be head of sales. So no, the customer doesn't have visibility over sender name, right? When they do, and what you can do with the configuration is you do get certain data on your logs, right? So let me just quickly jump onto the logs and show you a few split payments I did earlier today. Right, so this was the original transaction. So 20 bob, 20 shillings, you can see here, was sent to this paybill by this customer, right? And of course, on the callback, this was successful, right? So this is the first transaction. If you notice, there's 34V2 in the Mpesa transaction ID, right? So this is the transaction ID. Now, on the split, it splits twice, right? So one you notice is an Mpesa transfer. So one you see 34.2 in the reference or the account number. The customer doesn't have any visibility on this, right? They don't get this. But this is for you internally to be able to reconcile. Right? And then QLI test was the destination name or one of the destination names we had here on the dashboard, right? This. So, okay, play around with this. You get details on the recipient name. So we were basically sending this money to ourselves, right? Doing a test. So this is us, right? You can see the pay bill, the recipient, and then of course you also get the balance and the amount. So if you notice, we sent 20 bob here. We split it 50-50. So here you get 10 bob, and on this other one you get 10 bob. And they all have the right reference ID. Now, a unique starting point on differences is that this one has QLI test, QLI1 test within the reference to segment this specific payout or transfer. And then this other one has test 2 QLI. So this allows you internally to reconcile and know what's going on where, right? Who paid who. So in this case, this might be Mwas or Tien. Right? And then this other one might be, let's say, the payouts team. So when you go through your logs, you go through your dashboard, you're able to say, okay, so today I've paid Mwas 20,000 shillings and I've paid the payouts team 5,000 shillings. Make sense?
Yeah, that does. So the config will be done once and then all these split payments are done as API calls, correct?
Exactly. So they are done as API calls automatically. And the trigger is a transaction coming in.
Yeah.
So I could be, me as the developer, I could be asleep in bed. As long as the customer pays whatever the amount, the rule set is activated. The transaction triggers the rule set activates whatever you set up. So whatever the percentage, whatever the amount, it is split. And I wake up in the morning and I say, oh, okay, I had 200 transactions at night. And of those 200 transactions, maybe 400 of my partners have been paid. And it really reduces that reconciliation mess, that payments mess, the payouts mess that so many devs, so many tech companies need to deal with. Yeah. And of course, you have visibility. So if you need referencing, if you need a point to understand what happened, you have all that data. 1 on our logs, 2 on our dashboard, 3 on Google Sheets, and so on.
Yeah, that's clear. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. So we are done with Moss Otieno. We can go to the payments team, right? So Moss is getting a 5% commission, right? So now let's go to, let's say you have a payouts team, or even better, delivery fee, a delivery team. So maybe every delivery on your platform is, let's say, 300 shillings. You've standardized it, and it's 300 shillings. So you come here and you get your sender name, right? Again, this is SACCO Get Auto Commission, so the sender name needs to be the same. You come here, Mpesa transfers, and you say destination name, you say SACCO Get Delivery Team. And maybe the delivery team has their own paybill, but because you know it is a standard amount, sorry, I scrolled a bit too far. It's a fixed amount. You come here and you select fixed. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So delivery team. So it's the split step is a fixed amount, right? So you come here and you select fixed and you set up 300 shillings. So every time a customer pays, and of course the amount is above 300 shillings is sent to this paybill. Now, of course, that means certain things. It means all your products need to be standardized and they have a minimum delivery fee, let's say 300 shillings, right? But that allows you to automate, let's say, giving money to the delivery team to execute deliveries, buy fuel, get and do the guy, etc., etc. They always have money. And also it triggers them that every time they receive these 300 shillings, they know, okay, there's a delivery I need to prepare for. Let me go talk to them. Let me go check my dashboard. Makes sense? And I'm really, really trying to have this focus on the SACCO Get team. I hope the SACCO Get guys appreciate.
Yeah, this is very informative and very helpful to us and or any other person who is interested in e-commerce.
Awesome. Happy to hear. So we've seen clients use this fixed type in really unique ways. One, maybe there are certain balanced splits that need to happen. So you always know you'll pay 50 bob on a certain type of transaction, or 100 bob, or 1,000 bob, whatever the amount, right? There are certain transactions that get a bit standardized. For example, with a certain range of destination, you're able to configure this add-on, right? And be able to say, yes, so anytime a payment comes in, set aside 300, 200, 100, whatever the amount, right? If you always pay a certain type of cost to, let's say, a different partner. Let's say there's a printing type solution that you have, and you always pay 100 bob to start any print, no matter the cost on top of that, right? You might automate this and send 100 bob to your printing guy anytime there's an order, right? And that alerts them that there's an order. Of course, the standard one is if you're a e-commerce platform and you always get a certain percentage on every transaction, whether 5%, 10% of your commission, you're able to onboard your paybill here, and every time there's a payment, 10% goes to a different destination. And this is your way of taking your own profit, right? And setting it aside. So you might say every time there's a payment, take away 10% or 5%. And you might even send that to your own phone number so that you always have you always have money yourself, right? And you're confident that the business will continue to be able to run itself, right? Because you've taken away funds from the business. Maybe you've even sent them to another pay bill or even to a bank account, right? This is your profit bank account. And you set aside that type of split where 10% of every payment goes to this bank account. Hence, you're able to run the business and be effective on the remaining 90%, as an example. So there are many ways you can think about auto commissions to simplify your business, to make it easier to pay your partners, to make it easier to understand how you're generating value and revenue and so on. I'm basically super close to the end. Any final questions, any considerations, anything that someone has as feedback, happy to jump in.
Hi, Dean. I think I missed that part where you talked about the KYB documents for organizations to onboard. So what are some of the required documents for onboarding?
That's a good question. So let me see if I can load this up on this side, and then so I'll take you through our KYB KYC process.
Okay, no problem.
There we go. So hello.
Hello.
Oh, okay. You can hear me. So I hope you can all see my screen.
Yes.
Awesome. So we've already gone through this. So as you said, how you get started is one, you need your own Mpesa or a bank business account, right? So we get you your own paybill. If you already have your own paybill, not a bank's paybill, right? Not a paybill controlled by a bank, because it will mean that the bank has to give us access, right? Specifically your own paybill, right? We can get started with that. If you have a bank one, we really, really recommend getting your own, right? Because that gives you a level of flexibility around integrating APIs and adding automation on it, right? Understandably, banks are unable to offer really good APIs and really good payment solutions on top of their paybills, right? Because one bank paybill might be used by 5,000 businesses, 10,000 businesses, and they can't really give a very high level of access to each of them, right? And then because we are an Mpesa partner, it means we get a lot of tools and functionalities that the average business and sometimes even the average bank is unable to extend to you, right? So we get you your own paybill under your own business. So your own company name limited, we get you a paybill number, right? And this allows you to transact, receive payments from your customers and also make payouts. So yes, we are an Mpesa/Safaricom acquirer and we get you through KYC compliance. Below are our requirements. So KYC docs, so director KYC. So each director on your CR12 ID and passport and the KRA tax certificates. So this is all PDFs. And then KYB is your company/business profile, certificate of incorporation. Everything else is just e-citizen stuff. Bank account letter will be the bank that you have an account with, right? So you get your own paybill and you can connect that paybill to your bank account, right? You don't have to use a bank paybill, right? You can get your own paybill and connect it to your bank account. And that gives you a lot more flexibility. Let's say at some point you want to switch banks, at some point you want to do a different type of transaction, it gives you a bit of breathing space. So we help you by filling in the docs, and then you sign and stamp, so you complete the docs, and then you decide to go live, right? So you onboard on Quikk. So it's a fairly fast process. Usually it takes 2 or 3 days. This is basically it. All the other documents especially just communicate that further. So what I'd recommend as next steps for anyone who wants to get started, We can do a 5-10 minute call. I've already shared my booking link on the chat. Let me see if I can share it again. Make sure I understand that we can help you. You probably would have a couple of questions around our other add-ons. So we do have quite a number of add-ons that you can take advantage of, not just split payments. We have reconciliation add-ons. We have WordPress. Let me just quickly show you. Yeah, these are some of the add-ons you can use with us, right? So we have a guard add-on, we have WooCommerce, we have Mpesa reconciliation, we have Echo, Google Sheets, and so on, right? And what they all do, they all have really specific use cases, and you can integrate each of them individually. You don't have to use any of them, right? You just choose the one you'd like to use at that point. And because each of them has their own reduced pricing, it means if you don't want to use an add-on, you don't pay for it. And that allows you to run a really good, profitable business on our platform. Yeah, any questions as I share my link?
Oh, hello, Hayden. So my question is, while sandboxing, do you really need like an actual pay bill, or you use what you're provided there on your site?
It depends. So we do have a pay bill that is easier to use before you get your own pay bill. We do recommend fully testing once you have your own pay bill, right? Because it's your money, you're able to move it really effectively, right? Versus when you use, let's say, our Sandbox account, I mean, it's our money. Please don't waste it. Yeah, so we do recommend testing, especially when in production, but you can also test right now just to give you a sense.
Okay.
And
also,
we
continue.
we can jump on a demo and we do just a quick 2-3 minute sandbox test, and you should be good to go.
Yeah. Actually, that's what I wanted to tell you.
Awesome. That would be great. Looking forward to it.
Okay.
Okay, great. This has been fantastic. I've had a lot of time. I've had a lot of fun during this time. I think we can do one final question and then we can all jump off. Going once, going twice. Sold. Yes, Franklin, I can share the slide deck just after this. So I'll add it to the final email you should get later today or early tomorrow. Okay, guys, this has been fantastic. I've had such a good time. Looking forward to engaging with you all further. I'll mute my video and audio just in case someone has an additional question, but looking forward to speaking to you all soon.
So we'll all get the presentation, the deck?
Yes, George, you will.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, Dean. That was awesome.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you for setting aside time.
Thanks, Dean. I'll reach out when I have more questions I'll book a demo so we can share with my other partner information.
My pleasure, Bangali. Looking forward to it.